ISLANDTON, South Carolina. The vast estate is as idyllic as it is secluded. Its fishing pond, expansive farmland and four-bedroom home shrouded by trees and a winding driveway that keep it all out of view from the highway. On Wednesday, jurors weighing the fate of Alex Murdaugh, the prominent South Carolina lawyer charged with murdering his wife and son, traveled past the no trespassing signs to see where the double murder took place, one of the last stages of the trial before they begin trying to reach a verdict. Testimony concluded on Tuesday after more than 75 witnesses took the stand over about 5 weeks. Jurors have heard evidence about Mr. Murdaugh, 54, his family's legal influence in the region and the fatal shootings in June 2021 that left his wife, Maggie Murdaugh, 52, and their younger son, Paul Murdaugh, 22, dead near the property's dog kennels. Prosecutors say Mr. Murdaugh carried out the crime in a failed effort to conceal his longtime embezzlement of millions of dollars. The jury visit on Wednesday morning was to be followed by closing arguments from the prosecution and defense, after which 12 jurors will begin deliberations. Jurors spent roughly an hour on the property, walking between the dog kennels and a nearby shed and examining the outside of the main residence, about a 500-yard drive away. One juror could be seen standing in the door of a small feed room, where Paul Murdaugh was killed. It is rare for jurors to visit crime scenes, and experts said bringing the jurors out of the tightly controlled courtroom environment and into the real world could carry significant risks for both the prosecution and defense. "There are a lot of dangers with this," said Nancy S. Murdaugh, a law professor and jury expert at the Chicago-Kent College of Law who remembers sitting at a Starbucks in Los Angeles when a bus full of jurors in the O.J. Simpson trial passed by during their visit to the crime scene. For example, experts said, lawyers are not allowed to point things out or speak with the jurors. "You don't know what jurors will see when they get to the place," Ms. Murdaugh said. "They might focus on very different things. But the visits can also help jurors visualize a scene," and jury visits have been held in several high-profile cases, including the sentencing trial of the school shooter in Parkland, Florida, the trial of a Louisville, Kentucky, police officer who was charged over the fatal Breonna Taylor raid and, perhaps most famously, the O.J. Simpson murder trial in Los Angeles. Melody Vinoy was among the jurors who toured Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, which had largely been left untouched since 14 students and 3 employees were killed there in 2018. Ms. Vinoy said the visit was disturbing but important as she considered whether to sentence the gunman, Nicolas Cruz, to life in prison or to death. She was among a minority of jurors who voted for the former. "Was it painful?" "Absolutely," said Ms. Vinoy, a vice president for diversity and inclusion at a healthcare company. "But in going, I think it was helpful because it brings the case to life." Jurors are typically not allowed to speak with each other about the case until deliberations begin, and Ms. Vinoy said it was a unique experience to walk through and process such a disturbing scene without speaking to her colleagues. "You cannot naturally process your emotions in the moment," she said. "Your gut is to say, 'Oh my God, did you see X?' But you can't." It was quiet. Ms. Vinoy said she found the visit helpful in understanding the physical distance between points and the school that had been discussed at trial. Mr. Murdaugh admitted from the witness stand last week that he was at the dog kennels where the killings occurred with his wife and son in the minutes before the killings, but he said he drove a golf cart back to the main house before the shootings took place. His lawyers have elicited testimony that Mr. Murdaugh would not have been able to hear gunshots from inside the house. Mr. Murdaugh then left the property to visit his mother,